Hello my friends, welcome to the video. First of all, I want to say I'm really excited because I just got my new Tudor cap and I also have my new Tudor silver case, Black Bay 58. Beautiful watch. I've been really wanting to get this watch for a while, so I just barely pulled the trigger, so I'm really excited for this. Thank you everyone for the support. But today's video, I just want to talk a little bit more about what happened on the market, guys. So majority of you already know Omega released new watches. These are called the Aquaterras and some other models that I really want to talk about it. And these are very similar to the Rolex Oyster Perpetuals, that line, and also they're very similar to other type of watches from Rolex. So I wanted to give you guys just my thoughts on these pieces, and I just, of course, I wanted to show you the watches right here. I mean, I have a picture. I don't have the watch in stock. We don't sell Omegas, but of course I wanted to keep you updated into what's happening. So putting that out there, please feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel, guys. It's free. Give us a like. It's really gonna help us a lot, and that's practically all you have to do to support the channel. Just give us a like, comment maybe if you want to say something that you think this is happening. It's really appreciated. So I don't want to bore you too much, so let's take a look at these beautiful watches and talk a little bit more about them. So wait for them. Okay guys, so now it's time to take a look at these watches and give you my thoughts on these new pieces from Omega that I really think they are very, very similar to the Rolex Oyster Perpetuals. So first, let me show you these watches. Before we go to let's go for the Aquaterras first. So these are the watches, guys. You guys can see these are the Rolex Oyster Perpetuals right here. These are the Rolex Oyster Perpetuals. Let me put a little bit more on the side. So these are the Rolex Oyster Perpetuals, and these are the Omega Aquaterras. I don't have the price points on the Omega right now, but I'm gonna put them on the description, guys. First of all, we can see this just a little bit change on the dials and the colors. And if you ask me personally, right here, you guys can see you have that kind of sunburst finish into the dials. But of course, the locks are more roundy. And I don't have to explain how they look, guys. You guys can see here the picture. But of course, my point of the video is that these watches are very, very similar to the Oyster Perpetuals. Might as well. The only difference will be the mechanisms. Because of course, in the Omegas, you have those with a date. But in my personal opinion, I really think it's kind of like this attempt to take a piece of the market that these watches are taking right now. So I don't think I don't know what to say, guys. I really don't love Omegas in this type of kind of similarities to Rolex. I don't want to say copies, because of course they are not copies. They are very different brands, very different stories, very different dials, and of course different mechanism. But I think this is a very it's a good attempt of taking a little bit of the piece of that market that these Rolex are taking in. So if you ask me personally, I can see here in the Omega the only difference will be that this has sunburst and you have those kind of like olive dial. Of course they cannot use, or well, probably they can use a color like the Rolex, but of course they gotta make that different a little bit. So I think that's why they're using this sunburst dial, and apparently they also come with a lume. But of course you guys can see those numerals like in an arrow shape that is very different to Rolex too. But of course, you guys can see here they created the green one, very similar to the Rolex Oyster Perpetual with green dial. They also have a red dial. They have a kind of champagne finish dial that I think it's also very similar to the very iconic piece that they actually released. That is this Oyster Perpetual. I think it's actually the one that comes on the catalog, that I think is a very nice looking piece, and I think it's very underrated in the terms of the other OP versions, because this particular model on Rolex, you have a gold numerals and arrows. So I think that's a plus that you cannot find in the rest of the Oyster Perpetual. So the future will tell us which one will be the most hard piece, or maybe the most rare piece on the market. We have seen what's happening right now with the Tiffany dial and other watches, but of course this is a very different story. But I think Omega is just crazy doing. I don't really love these type of things. Of course, now we have these watches that are on the market, but let's see what's happening. Let's see how it goes in the future. And the other pictures that I wanted to show you that I also think they are very, very similar is other watches that are, they actually released a new, I think it's a Seamaster. Yeah, let me show you pictures. These are the pictures right here. You guys can see the very similarities between the Rolex and the Omegas. I think there's been a constant battle between Rolex and Omega for the past, I don't know, 50 years or more, if I'm not mistaken. Probably even more, right? But this is a constant battle, the constant competition between them. But of course, we have not seen the same thing that's happening on the market with Rolex that's happening with Omega. I actually have some customers that ask me, what do I think about getting the new Seamaster green dial with green bezel from Omega? To be honest, it looks very cool, don't get me wrong. It's a very nice looking piece, very nice looking watch, and of course it's a very high quality piece of jewelry, right? But of my personal opinion, I don't think you can compare that to the Hawk. So I think the market is kind of wrong right here, but I think it's happening. They create these watches that are submariners, but of course Seamaster is a sub watch, and of course a sub is a sub watch, right? It's a diver piece, practically. Sorry if I'm not using the correct words. This is a diver piece. They are very, very similar, but of course are very different on the same way. So I don't think these watches are very similar, but I can see a lot of similarities between the other one. You guys can see here first is a blue dial with black. Of course, this is a very iconic dial on the diver because according to Rolex, they created this piece because of course when you're diving at the beginning, the water looks blue, right? But the deeper you go, it starts becoming a darker vision. So that's why it's blue and dark, because it's supposed to be the depths of the ocean. So I think in the Omega is not exactly the same, like from top to bottom. It's actually from the center to the sides, but it's still a very similar looking watch that I think it's very similar to the Rolex Deep Sea. And we also have seen these other versions of the Speedmaster that is similar to the Daytona. It's green, of course, green dial, green bezel, and 100% 18 karat gold. You guys can see that also in the Rolex. It's a green Daytona, very hard piece to find. Not sure what's gonna happen with Omega, but more likely they're gonna try to follow that path of becoming hard to find. So I think they have to do that if they wanna make these pieces to become hot on the market. All right. And the other version that I think is also very, very similar to the Daytona is this other Speedmaster that you guys can see. They have the same colors, same color dial, same color bezel, same color case, and same color bracelet. So if you ask me personally, I think the Aquaterras and these particular models on here, right here, you guys can see it. In my personal opinion, I think it's just like a attempt to look like the Rolex, or maybe, please tell me your thoughts. Tell me, what do you think? Do you think this is just the market dictates these watches to be created, or do you think it's just they are following the same path to kind of step into their toes? I don't really think this is going to happen, guys. But of course, my recommendation will be just get what you like. If you really love the Omega, go ahead and go for the Omega. If you love the Rolex, go ahead and go for the Rolex. If you love Tudor, go ahead and go for the Tudor. That I think it's just a matter of what do you like and what do you want to go for. I will personally go for anything that I think it's in my personal identity is good, so I will definitely go for something like that. But I will never recommend for you guys to go with something just because of the hype. Some of my customers ask me, they're actually very interested in the Seamaster green dial, that I think is very cool, very nice. But I don't know why. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's just my personal thoughts. It looks very, very similar also to Aqua Racers, and I don't know why I love Aqua Racers. I think it is very different. They look very similar, into my personal opinion. Some of the Seamasters and Aqua Racers are very similar. I'm not sure which one is doing which copy of which, but of course, we have seen the Aqua Racers. They are very iconic pieces. They've always been kind of like having this type of shape. They have been changing colors with time, and I think these Seamaster are very similar to the Aqua Racers, that I don't know why I think it looks very similar. But of course, guys, you can always give me your opinion. That's what this channel is for. and I just wanted to give you my thoughts and my opinions into what I think is happening with the market with these new watches from Omega that I think is very, very similar to Rolex. I don't think it's a good thing for them, but of course only the future will tell us if they're doing a good job or they're not doing a good job. So please tell me what do you think, which one is your favorite from all these pieces right here. And yeah, that's practically it, guys. I just wanted to give you my thoughts on this. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to join the Discord and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to be participated into the giveaway of the Mont Blanc pen, guys. We're about to hit 5,000 subscribers. Once we hit the 5,000, we're gonna go to the raffle. So thank you very much, guys, for the support, and see you next time.